There we go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Wednesday Workshop Live here at Build A Quilt. I'm Diana. So glad to have you all. Let me bring up my comment section. Please go ahead and just take a moment, introduce yourself in the comments so I can say hello. Now, I am sorry if the lighting is a little different than usual. It is 108 with the heat index where I live, and it has been for 2 weeks. I feel like I haven't been clean in 2 weeks, even though I've been showering like 2 or 3 times a day because I got to work out in the garden, right? Crazy. But, and if you hear the fan, that's to kind of supplement our AC because I suspect our power bill is going to be through the roof. And I know a lot of you are going through it too. So if the lighting looks a little different, I apologize. It's because I'm trying to keep this room a little bit cooler while we're having our event tonight. Otherwise, you're just gonna see me start to melt. I'm so sorry. And hello to our friend Sue from Indiana. There she is. Hello, Sue from Indiana. So glad that you are with us tonight, my friend. You've got to be going through this heat too. We're going into we just heard tonight, we're going into our 3rd week. The heat warning we've been under is still every day they extend it more. I'm done with that. This is June, not the end of August. This is crazy for Illinois. So I'm kind of done with it. I'm trying my hardest to keep everything in the greenhouse and in the garden alive. We had a big rainstorm a little while ago. We may have more storms coming through tonight while we're on air. So again, if things flicker in and out, I apologize. It'll be because like we've lost power if that happens. Okay. Alrighty. And if you're wondering why like my eyes look dead, it's because I cut my eye. Oh, this eyelid. I cut my eyelid. No, it's this eyelid. Yeah, I cut my eyelid. And so I've got to put medicine on it. It's not infected, thank goodness, but I've got to keep it that way. And the doctor said no eye makeup for a few weeks while it's healing up. I totally scratched it out in the garden over the weekend. It was not pretty. No. Oh, and here's our dear friend Kathy from steamy and stormy North Carolina. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Kathy. This weather is crazy. I know almost everybody is going through it. Excuse me. A little coffee there to keep me perked up tonight. It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long couple of days. So I will start by letting you know that today is Wednesday. On Monday, I got a call. Our computer modem has been hacked. I've had my personal identity stolen. And it could be that Dave has had his stolen too. Somebody in a foreign country, one of the countries in Africa, I'm not going to name which one because I don't know what I can say because I'm waiting for a phone call, possibly from higher authorities to kind of take statements and stuff. I was on the phone 6 hours on Monday trying just to work through like what happened, how they're getting into our computer and stuff. Thank God they have not hit our bank account. So for big mercies there, right? Big mercies. Because we have had our bank account hacked before, but this is like our personal data, everything. So Monday was just a nightmare. Tuesday wasn't a lot better. So I'm just kind of tired too, guys. I'll have to admit. Anyway, so that's been my week. I hope you guys are having a better week. It'll get better. I just wish this heat would go away because I really would like to feel like after I shower, I feel clean. I just haven't. So I've got a couple of funny things to kind of share with you that aren't memes, just weird things, right? So you guys know that we lived out in Washington State for decades, Dave and I. And so I'm a total Nordstrom girl. I don't ever really buy a lot from Nordstrom, but I love their lipstick bar. They actually have a lipstick bar. My bestie and I, we are like lipstick fiends. Gloss, lipstick, color, because you know I love color, right? But I've always loved lipstick. Since I was like 3, I used to grab my mother's and I was a little kid that would just put it all over my face. Anyway, Nordstrom just sent me their anniversary sale catalog. And so I feel like it's Christmas now. I can go through it and see if there's anything I want that I can't have, because that's basically the way it is with Nordstrom. So if any of you know about the Nordy's half yearly sale, you know, it's a big deal out in Washington, right? It's a huge deal. And then more to our subject of quilting, fabric, that sort of thing. I was picking fabric for tonight's Let Nature Inspire segment, which I have something so cool to show you guys. And I came across a fabric that I have never seen before in my life. I don't know how it got into my collection. I have no idea. I know I've never seen it. So I am going to show this to you, and you tell me what you see. You can just pop it into the comments. Tell me what you see in that print, because I'm thinking something and maybe I'm way wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing what I think I'm seeing. So let me put it closer. Lots of little flowers in there. That's kind of cute. I think I see some butterflies in there. Like maybe that's a butterfly there. But what do you see? You got it. Yeah. Kathy sees gators too. Oh, maybe Kathy. But Sue and Kathy also said frogs. That's instantly when I saw it, I thought, where the heck did this fabric come from? I have no idea. I have never seen this before in my life. And I'm trying to see, do I have any information on like a salvage? No salvage on it with information. So I don't know who the designer is, who the manufacturer is, nothing. But I'm going to stick with the frogs, but Kathy, I can see why it could be gators as well, because when they're like really in the water, all you see is their eyes coming up. So it could be gators as well. My uncle used to, decades and decades ago, he was part of the Everglades Conservation Service, the water part of it. And they lived right kind of by the Everglades, and they had gators in their backyard. And my aunt saw my cousin when he was just little, like 2, playing out in the backyard, and there was like a gator over here, and Sean was here, and she was totally freaking out trying to get him from getting eaten by a gator. So, but yeah, there we go. I don't know what I'll do with it. If you have ideas what kind of a quilt that should go in, you let me know. But I saw it and I thought, I've got to show you guys, because I've got to make sure I'm actually seeing what I'm thinking I'm seeing. Okie dokie. We've got 2 things to go over tonight, 2 big things. We've got the Reflections in Flight. So tonight is technically the last night for Reflections in Flight, because now you can get the layout and all the last bits of information, but we're going to talk about it tonight. And then tonight is also the last night of our Let Nature Inspire segment, which we started last week. And speaking of Let Nature Inspire, I found a really pretty picture that I wanted to show you, and so we could talk about color a little bit. But then our dear friend Kathy, who's here, who thinks it could be gators or it could be frogs, sent me some pictures from her garden, and we're going to look at those, because those colors are completely different from what I'm going to show you, and they're really pretty flowers. Oh, look, here's our good friend Ruth from Lake Stevens. Hi, Ruth. I hope everything's good out in Washington. I know it's not as hot as it is here. I wish I was in Washington so bad. Oh, but Ruth, you'll know, I just got my half-yearly sale from Nordy's catalog. I'm so excited. In fact, I think there's a pair of jeans in here. You guys tell me what you think. I know jeans are fabric, right? So we're all friends. We can talk. Let me see. I'm thinking, because I don't like my jeans to go all the way to the ground, I like that pair right there. What do you guys think? I think they're kind of cute. I would not wear them with high heels. I'm not really a high heel girl, but I kind of like them. They're like that just wash tone kind of thing. Anyway, they're way too expensive. They're $118. I don't spend that much on my jeans. If I spend $25, I'm spending a lot of money. I don't buy expensive jeans because I really like. Yeah, Sue, they are cute, aren't they? Yeah, I like them. I wish I looked like that. Then maybe I would, but no. But I wear my jeans, like I work hard in my jeans, like dress jeans. I don't have dress jeans. You gotta like my jeans. If I'm gonna dress them up, I'll just dress my regular jeans up. But I like them because I'm only 5'6". I like having them at or right above my ankle instead of my best friend who's like 6 foot tall always wants me to wear things that are dragging on the ground. And it's like, I look like a hobbit that way. No offense to the hobbits, but I look like I'm this little bitty squat person with clothes on that are like a mile too long for me. They look great on her, but not on me. You understand, Sue. Yeah, for sure. I am taller than my mother by quite a bit. And luckily I got this extra 6 inches because my dad is 6'2", 6'3". So, but my kid brother, 6'2", so I got whatever height I was going to get, I guess. So my mother was also malnourished when she was pregnant with me. So, that can affect a child's development in that way. So I don't blame her. I'm 5'6". I am what I am. Sue, 5'1". Yeah, see, Sue, you gotta get. So Sue, you could get like crop pants in a regular length crop pants, and they would be like a nice ankle length on you probably. That's the way they are on me. Ruth, you're 5 foot. Yes, let's hear it for all of us girls that are under 6 feet tall, under like 5'8". If I had 2 more inches, but I am happy the way I am. All righty, let's move on from Minorities catalog. And let me show you this picture, guys. Here we go. Isn't that beautiful? Now, I think these roses are what they call sterling roses, but they're like a really soft. I actually think these are more purple or more pink, but I've seen, Kathy, you're 4'11", bless your heart. I know you have trouble getting pants or things that aren't overly long on you. Yeah. So I have some friends, though, that are 4'11", and they're a couple of the stylish people I know. Style's not necessarily my thing. Like, I am a total jeans girl, jeans and shirts. I like to wear skirts and long sleeve t-shirts, like nice ones in the summer and stuff, but I'm not like a big fancy fashionista by any means. Anyway, I love this photograph of these flowers. I think the arrangement's pretty. The arrangement, if just speaking about that, is like nicely balanced, I think is what I want to say. I would say these roses are like the focal flowers, and then she's got these little different purple ones in there that are kind of her companion flowers. She's got some really different beautiful greenery, so it's really gorgeous. But when I look at this, I see in our whole idea about letting nature inspire our color, if you're someone who likes purple, don't be afraid to add pink with it. I know a lot of people don't like to add pink and purple together, but look here, that looks beautiful together. And then she's got whatever this is. I can't tell if these are lily of the valley or not, or there's some little white something. So whites, she's got a really dark purple. She's got a dark green. There's lighter green. So you could pick as many as, I think, 5 colors out of that and get a really beautiful purple color story for a quilt if you're a purple person. And I chose this one because I'm always choosing things with my favorite colors in them. And so I know there are a lot of you out there that love purple. So I thought I would just show you something in the purple family tonight. However, we'll take that back down. Thanks, Kathy. It is lovely. It wasn't like, it didn't have a name or anything, so I don't know whose flowers those actually are, but I have something to show you now. It's our thanks for sharing. That kind of took the place of our meme tonight, that pretty flower. And my telling you about my Nordstrom catalog. Oh, and really the meme was the frog fabric. The froggy fabric. But we're going to say thanks for sharing to our good friend Kathy, who's here tonight. Look at these now. Kathy, I believe these are begonias and Gerbera daisies. Is that correct? Do I have my flower selections correct? Aren't they gorgeous? Now, I have begonias up front. They are more in the salmon and pink colors. I really love red. Dave isn't as wild about really bright, vibrant red, so I don't put a lot of those. Kathy, I really like pink, purple, and gray. Yes, Kathy, that would be beautiful. Pink, purple gray or gray silver. Beautiful color combination. Absolutely. Together. Yes. Very pretty. Yeah. Aren't her flowers gorgeous? I have some begonias up front because in the front of our house, we have a bed that is like 90% shade. And so I can grow my begonias in there. I've got begonias and primrose, and I've got some shade loving lilies up there that are getting ready to actually bloom. But I love this red. Now, if you look at her, if you look at this picture here, this one in the top left, definitely those, that picture speaks summer, right? Beautiful flowers. But those colors in there could definitely give you a pretty like Christmas holiday color theme, because that red is a very Christmassy red. Yes, I sent a hibiscus yellow also. Oh, I didn't see I had to get them really quick off my phone, Kathy. I did not see your hibiscus yet, but I will look for that. Thank you for letting me know. I'll look and see where that one went. Okay, I'll look and see. For some reason, I didn't see it, but I only saw these two. But again, I was doing it like right before we came on air. But I'll look. Thank you. So this red one with the begonia, I think that is some beautiful Christmas colors there. You've got that really Christmassy red, but those greens are much lighter, right? So don't always think, I know a lot of people, they're like, I don't like to use the traditional colors because the green is always so green. That's usually what disturbs them a little bit, is that deep, bright, Christmassy green. Try these lighter greens with it. Still Christmassy if you want to do that color theme. But I think this would be beautiful if you chose, like I see a medium, I see a dark, I see a light green in there, the red, and I'm sure that in here somewhere is like a little bit of yellow. Put that in a quilt. It wouldn't have to be Christmas themed. That could be a gorgeous color combination. And those are really beautiful flowers, Kathy. Thank you so much. Oh, great. Thanks for sending it again, Kathy, and I will take a look at it. And then these Gerber daisies. Now, I've got Gerber daisies. Mine are salmon colored pink. I love them. My bee balm is kind of exploding over them at the moment, so I've got to kind of try to get that bee balm away from them. But these are beautiful. I love the red ones, but this one in the front. This flower in the front, if you're looking for a color story, orange, yellow, kind of a rusty color, and even like a black or brown. That's 4 colors plus green. Her planter looks dark, but the earth could be like a dark brown. You could I wouldn't put black probably, but you could do that for a autumn color story or even a summer color story, depending on what level of color you put. So if you're going to do this deep orange, this bright yellow, this is just such a gorgeous flower. And then this golden color, you've got a golden color like right in there. I am seeing, I need y'all's help. I am seeing 2 arrows on my screen, a tiny one and a big one. First of all, are you seeing 1 or 2 arrows? And is the arrow that you see, if you're only seeing one, is it on the flower that is kind of to the all the way to the side in more of a yellow Gerber daisy, a yellow orange, not the big one in the center, but the one on the side? Can you guys let me know? Because that way, when I'm pointing at stuff with my pointer, I'll know if you guys are seeing it correct or not. I would appreciate that if you can drop that in the comments for me. Oh, you know what? I need to take this banner down. I think we know where we are. Sorry. But that kind of more of a yellow, golden yellow, the golden center, a little brown with that would be just so gorgeous. That's such a beautiful flower. If I were putting an arrangement together for someone with those colors, I'd be coming to your door and asking to buy your flowers, Kathy, and I'd go and snip those because those are really beautiful blooms. Absolutely gorgeous. So thank you, Kathy, for sharing. I appreciate it so much. And then if you guys can let me know, like right now, the arrow should be only 1. Okay, great. The arrow should be in the center of the big flower. Is that where you're seeing it? Right here in the center of the flower? because that's what I need to know. Or is it in the black area of the screen? Yes, center. Okay, good. Then I know. So for some reason, when I bring a picture up, I get 2 arrows. The big one, the nice one, is not correct. It's like 2 inches to the right of the one you guys are seeing. So I need to make sure that I have that right. All right, let's take those down. Thank you so much, Kathy, for those. Center of the orange. Great. Thank you. Thank you guys for letting me know that. All righty. So I have a couple of quick announcements, just like public service announcements kind of things for some things I found out this week. If you are a Tula Pink fan, and if you have purchased from I Heart Tula Pink, which is a little company owned by Tula Pink's mother, Tula does not own it in any way. It's her mother's shop. She has always sold some of the harder to get Tula fabrics and things, like the big panels that are like one of the focal pieces. She's closed shop. And as of today, everything is closed out, but I wanted to let you know it's closed because she's retiring, which is a good thing, right? Apparently she's going to go and play a lot of golf. I wish her all the best. She's younger than me and she's going to retire and play golf. I am so jealous. Anyway, so it's closed. However, Tula says that she and her brother are putting up, or in the near future, like I guess maybe in the next month or so, they're putting up a new online store. They're not going to be selling fabric, like they're not competing against the fabric shops that sell her stuff, but they're going to be putting up like different project things and just kind of different stuff that's Tula's. And if you love those big panels the way I do, because I use them, I use them for a quilt front all by themselves for throw quilts. They're keeping those in the new shop and they're going to be adding new ones, for which I'm very excited. So I can't wait for that because I will go in and just buy a bunch of those and make some more easiest quilts you'll ever make. One big panel, put the backing and batting on there, do a little stipple design, bind it, you're done. It's so quick and easy. That truly is the easiest quilt ever. So anyway, she is closed. She's retiring. We wish her all the best. For those of you, I know some of you have mentioned before that you use Dime products, and I have mentioned their metallic thread before. You may know this already because it technically happened, I guess, at the end of February, but Dime has been sold to OESD, the makers of my favorite piecing thread, Isacord, the pearl gray. Dime is now owned by them, but they're Dime for OESD right now. So there's still like a separate division, I guess, a little bit, but that probably, I'm guessing, is not always going to be the case. That's probably a contractual thing. In a year or so, it'll all get consumed, but everything has moved to OESD now. So I am sure if you need like customer support, that sort of thing, you probably need to contact OESD and they'll help you out, either give you a different number or something like that. Because I spoke to a friend of mine that still works, who worked for Dime, who now works, she's working technically for OESD. And so they're still doing some of their events and stuff, but all the product line, everything has gone over to OESD. So if you didn't know that, now you know. And then one other thing I wanted to share with you all, because I'm not going to get to go this year, but I wanted to make sure that you all knew in case you wanted to, the Houston Quilt Festival. If you've never been, it's an amazing festival to go. I just got my stuff to register for the market, as a business owner, and I can't go this year. I'm very sad because it's in October, but I'm going to bring up the information for you. So the International Quilt Festival in Houston this year is October 9 through 12 at the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston, Texas. Preview night is October 8 from 5 to 9, class enrollees and 6 to 9 for the general public. Class and events begin on October 6th. So if you want to schedule classes, which you can register for them, those start on the 6th. And here is the website if you want to go and check it out. Like there's a link that'll show you like who's presenting at the festival this year, when like the quilt show is, when the classes are, what the classes are, all of that kind of stuff is at that website right there. So if you live close to Houston, even like if you live in Oklahoma or something like that, if you live close to Texas, go, 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 go. You will not be sorry. Go for nothing else but the day to go and see the quilts because they're incredible. I mean, truly incredible. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Now we've got to get moving because we've got to finish up. We got two things and we're almost halfway through the night. All right, Reflections in Flight. This is now a free download over at the website, okay? And what it is just the layout the layout information for the sizes. But I'm going to share something with you so you can see. Here's the first one. All right, so this is the layout for the 55 by 70. It's different than the one for the other sizes because this one gets made with the 5 by 10 flying geese unit. So in your packet, all you're really getting in this packet, so there's the first packet that tells you like size, how many. This packet will show you, I printed mine in black and white. I've got to have Dave change the color. I've got to have him change the color on the printer. I don't know how to do it. This is the 55 by 70, and it will tell you over here how many columns of flying geese, how many columns of the diamond in a square, so that you can know, and you will just follow this in the columns to figure out how many you need. Now, let me show you that one more time. So that is the layout for the 55 by 70, all the blues and all the greens. And so the way this works is you have a flying geese unit and a diamond in a square that are the same color connected. Do that all the way down your row. So really you're making 1, 2, 3 full columns of that connected flying geese unit and diamond in a square. And then you're making one more single column of your flying geese units. Now, I just got myself confused for a second. Sorry. Let me think about this for a minute. 5 by 10, and this is the 5 by 5. The diamond in a square is a 5 by 5. That's now, here's what I'm going to tell you. In this one, you start out with your first column of flying geese. They're all flying north. The second column, all flying south for the winter. Then winter goes away and summer comes and they all fly north again. And then summer goes away and they all fly south again, okay? So it doesn't matter on your diamonds in the square. They're going to match the geese that they're attached to. And they don't care if it's north or south. They look the same, okay? So that is the 55 by 70. Now let me show you the one. This next one will be the layout for all the other sizes, for the 3 other sizes. And it's a little bit different. So this is the layout for the 40 by 40, the 32 by 32, and the 24 by 24. And I misled you guys on how many to make. I told you on this one, you should be making 14. You should be making 16. So you might need to make a couple extras, but you're going to need to make the rest of your pieces anyway. So just add those few extras on. But just like in the other one, it's going to tell you this is the corrected information here, okay, on the side. Now, on this one, for these, remember, you're using the smaller flying geese unit with the larger diamond in a square. So you have 2 flying geese units that come together that make a square, and then it's attached to that diamond in a square. And on this one, your upper 2 parts of the diamond in a square match the top colored geese, and the bottom 2 match the bottom colored geese. And so you're going to have a combo of like a double row of these, and then a second double row, a third double row and a fourth double row. And just like the other one, these first geese are flying north. Then when we flip it, these are flying south. And so in this layout for these three sizes, your diamond and the squares are all coming together. And by doing that, it gives kind of this little ripple of color as you go along the horizontal, but it continues to mix the blue and the green so they're not all stuck straight together, right? It'll keep mixing the colors up. But that's your layout for the other colors in the reflections in flight. Hang on, I've got some comments over here. Oh, Kathy says, I really want to go, but thinking this is not my year either. So you're talking about the festival. Yeah, I understand, Kathy. Oh, that's an amazing quilt. Can't wait to put mine together. Oh, good. I'm so glad to see. Kathy likes the idea of this quilt. So glad. I'm so glad you do. Kathy, you're making one of the smaller sizes, I think, because you sent me your pictures, which I showed last week, I think. Crazy. Anyway, so in here, you get the layouts for all of them with the information that tells you how many to make. And then because they're in color, you can just follow how they get put together, right? It's very, very simple. You're just basically flipping. Oh, you're making the 24 by 24. So yours is going to end up looking like that. But it's going to be 24 by 24. It's going to be gorgeous. Gorgeous. Can't wait to see it finished because I loved your blocks that you sent. So this is available over at the website. It's a free download. Remember, and it even tells you in there like what weeks to watch the live to get the information. And it also tells you to make sure that you have that other week one information packet because that will be helpful. So I hope that helps. I am finishing mine up. I've got my my last set of geese on the machine right now. I'm doing my last set of geese and I've got one more set of diamonds and I'll get mine put together. And when it's finished, I'll bring that in to show you. I'm keeping my easiest quilt along ever because I'm putting together a video for quilting it. So you won't see that until that video comes out, which might not be till July or August. You're welcome, Sue. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. You're very welcome. All righty. So now while we have some time left, I wanted to share with you our second segment and final segment of Let Nature Inspire. Because I told you last week we're going to have a little project. And it's a little project because, so those of you that are in Quilt Lab, we are doing mini quilts this year, like mini minis, right? And you guys are loving them. I'm getting lots of great feedback from them. But some of you that aren't in Quilt Lab, since Quilt Lab kind of went underground a little bit and is a completely private scenario now, I've gotten lots of things that you're so sad that you're not going to get the chance to make any of those quilts and that you like minis too. I hear you. I hear you. So tonight's little Let Nature Inspire piece is an 8x8 finished mini. Okay. I hope you guys like that. So last week, now the information for it, the packet for it is at the website. It's just like a couple dollars, like literally just a couple dollars for that. If you want the information for putting it together, the cutting, all of that. Okay. And it's not even $5. I'm pretty sure it's not even $5. So it's really inexpensive, but you have to have your Build a Quilt set, right? Your basic combo set if you want to get the digital stuff. All right. So last week I showed you the summer version of this magazine called In Her Garden. The picture I chose for this mini quilt actually comes out of this issue, which was their spring issue. I'm sure it's not on the shelves anymore, but I'm guessing if you call them or write to them, email them, they might be able to get you a copy if you're interested. So the picture I chose, and I love it, is this one. Isn't that gorgeous? Those flowers. Now, this is just a beautifully stylized picture, right? The flowers on the saddle. But the reason I liked this is because we not only have the colors from the saddle, we have the colors from the flowers. We have the colors in the saddle. And look, that saddle has more than one color. It's got a deeper brown, a lighter brown. That's almost black there. So there's lots to this. There's the gate in the back, or the fence in the background. There's whatever this light color. I know it's the grass that has been like blurred out, but it came up as a really beautiful light color. I think it was Kathy, you just mentioned, I think earlier, liking silver or gray. So even in here, there are some like silvery gray greens in here in this picture. So what I've done is I have put together a special little star mini for us using this picture as my guide for my colors. In this, you are going to get the exact colors I used, okay? So let me show you our little finished star mini. It's a pinwheel star. We're just calling it Let Nature Inspire. Now look at it. Look. With, here, can you see both together? There we go. Look at it. See how I picked out the picture, the colors from the picture? Isn't that nice? So I would never have thought to put yellow in this. I would have never have thought to put these necessarily together, but they're gorgeous there and they're gorgeous there. Let me talk to you about the fabrics. So the background fabric on this one, I know it looks like the candlelit that I normally use. It is not. It is the lightest creamy pink. It's a creamy pink. It is so light. It's like somebody took one drop of pink and stood 10 feet away from a big sheet of white and just went and blew a kiss at it and blew that pink all over it. That's how much pink is in this creamy color. Not much at all, like barely any. You don't have to use that color though as the background. And we're going to look back at our inspiration picture and I'll show you why in a minute. But then I chose a medium and a darker green. And in the pattern pack, it tells you like a light green and a medium dark green. So I'm considering this one my light and this is my dark, but you could do a light and a medium or a dark green here because we have both of darks and lights in here. Then I chose 3 pinky salmon colors from in here, a dark, a medium, and a light. So I have a light, I have my medium, and I have my dark. And I know on screen that looks a little more red. It really in person is a deep salmon color. Trying to think what salmon that would be. I know you guys don't care. And then this yellow is the closest I had, but look at the picture though. In here, it's hard to see, but there's yellow in there. It's even lighter than this yellow. So when you're picking a yellow for it, according to the pattern instructions, pick something that is the lightest yellow you can get. Something, again, that looks like somebody just blew a little bit of yellow onto a piece of white fabric. That's all you need. And then that's all the colors. So I picked 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colors really from this photo. I chose 3 salmons, a light, medium, and dark, 2 greens, a light and a medium or a dark. And I chose this really super light pinky cream color. You could choose just like in mine, I chose that, but you could do white if you wanted to pick up the white. But here's the thing. If you don't like a white background, let's look at this. What else could we do here? We have this whole saddle thing going on. Now, I would not put that in like my actual star. For me, you could, but I wouldn't put it in my star because I kind of want this star to represent the idea of these flowers. That's the nature part that I really want to bring out in this little mini quilt. But we've got this whole saddle here. Now the dark brown might be too much for the background. But what if you took, like, see, there's this light in here, this really light color brown. What if you took something really super light beige, kind of like that light beigey color I showed you guys last week, and use that as your background? So for here and all of it, so wherever that creamy ivory pinky color is, put that lightest brown. It would totally change your star. It would change it from this bright summer star to more of a soft, subdued star. No season involved, but it would turn out beautiful that way. It could really be lovely. And it could really be a great way to switch up your background colors. Rarely do I use a brown in my quilts, but for something like this, some light beigey brown could really be beautiful. And this helped me realize that, because it's not something I naturally lean to or think about. But having that light brown as a background could really change your mini completely. Okay. So this is our inspiration picture. On the YouTube channel, under the community section where there's where I put the still posts, there is a picture of this and this together. So if you want to see it together. So what I've done, let's talk about fabrics for a minute. I've got my fabrics here. So here's my light pinky salmon. So that's what I used here. And you need very little of this, because your squares that you're cutting, because, oh, I should just tell you this, you're using the 2x2 square and the 2x2 half square triangle from your combination set. Okay, that's the only one you're using. So let's look at, before we talk the colors again, let's look at this 8-point star. These are both 8-point stars, right? In this one, though, can you see how we have the square and then we have a flying geese unit, right? That's the easy, quickest way to make an 8-point star. However, to make this size, I used 2 half square triangles, and that is always a perfectly acceptable substitute if you don't have the right size flying geese unit to use. Okay. So that's what I did here. Instead of a single flying geese unit, I did 2 half square triangles. So in this whole little piece, you're doing a half square triangle and a square. If you've got questions, please pop them in the chat while you think of them, and that way I can get to them before we are finished this evening. But that is the, that's that. So peachy pink, the lightest color, that one right there, and that one right there. Now you'll notice I do have a couple of patterns in here. I probably used more solid in here than I ever really used, but I do have some pattern in here. Remember, the patterning one is small, so it's not overtaking the design or the size, because sometimes you need to think about pattern size when you're thinking about like your overall block or quilt size. So big patterns in here are not going to be seen in this tiny little quilt. So I have some pattern in here. And what does that pattern give along with that, just to like make it not all solid? You guys know what I'm going to say, right? It gives it texture. It gives it movement, if you will. It makes your eye draw to it in a different way than if it were all solid. So that is this one. So there's the light peachy pink. So here is one of those little patterns. Like I said, you're only cutting 4x4 squares, and then some of them you're cutting on the diagonal for the HSTs. That is my medium peachy salmon, and that one has that tiny little design on it, pattern on it. This was just a strip that came in a kit that I never used, and I just kept it in my small pieces drawer. And I thought, oh, perfect, because I think it's like 5 inches wide. Perfect for 4x4s, right? Let's use some of this. So I use that, and I still have plenty more. So I could make more of these. I could put more of these together and make it bigger, but it's meant just to be a mini. But you can add on to it if you want. Make 4 of them, and you'd have a 16x16 topper if you wanted to do that. Here is my light green, And this one again. Now this is kind of a crazy, right? It's kind of a crazy pattern when you think about it, all these little arrows. But when I put it in my quilt, I did not worry about what directions those arrows were going because I don't care about that. I am not using this fabric to say, look at that gorgeous print. I'm using it just to give some texture to the overall piece, and it doesn't matter which way those arrows are going. So that is this kind of light green here. And then I just chose kind of I'm calling it dark, but it's really a medium. It's really a sagey green in my opinion. And if you look, there is right here, there's eucalyptus in here. Eucalyptus, Kathy, that is the like half of it is kind of a sagey green. The flip side of a eucalyptus leaf is that kind of really light gray or light silvery color that you were saying you like. And so that's a great way to put something like that in here. You could use this color, or this color that has a light gray pattern on it would be beautiful. So that's the way to get that color in this piece, is when you choose your color for your dark, find something with a little light gray in it, and you can get that mixture of it right in there. And that would be a really good representation of what you're seeing right there. Okay. And then this is my dark salmon. And I know it looks more red. Well, no, I guess this bigger piece, the smaller pieces look more red on screen, but this is really a darker salmon. It's just, I think this is a Tula Pink solid. One of her silky solids or Kimberbell. I don't know what Tula calls them, but I think this is Tula's. But it's a beautiful color. And then my yellow, I guess I didn't bring my yellow over, but it was just a little scrap that I had. This is a Kimberbell swirl. And it's a darker yellow than I would have liked, but I had nothing that was lighter yellowish. So if you want, when you do your yellow, when you pick your yellow, just pick the very lightest yellow that you have. And I think it'll look great. So that is our piece. That is our mini. So for those of you who wanted to do a mini, now this pattern pack, if you notice, it says companion set to the Build a Quilt Combo Basics. So in the future, when I do quilts or patterns and we're using the combo set to make them, the pattern will be like this. It will be like just a couple of dollars as far as what it's going to cost, because it takes me time and stuff, and you guys understand that, right? But it's not like you can't buy this and say, oh, I can go make it if you don't have the combo set. That's why I'm trying to make it very plain and clear here. And it even says it down in the banner. Full pat. Nope. That's not what it says on yours. I changed it. I didn't reprint mine. It says companion pattern to the Build a Quilt combo set. That's what I didn't reprint mine. Sorry. It was a long afternoon. I had to run out and cover the tomatoes before the storm killed them. Anyway, so in this set, you get like all the usual things as far as what segments you're going to make, what to do, blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to get a cut and fabric sheet. And on yours in color, this one, usually I just tell you like a light, a dark, a medium, whatever. But because in this one, we're using an inspiration fabric, and that's the whole idea behind this particular little segment that we've been doing. I gave you exact colors like dark salmon, light salmon, medium salmon, pink, that kind of thing. Okay. And then you also get a layout. Now, I did not put a coloring sheet in this one. Sorry, guys. I didn't put a coloring sheet in here because you're getting exact colors. If you want to go and change it and make it different colors, if you have an 8-pointed star coloring sheet, which I'm sure you do in one of the patterns that we put out, use that to kind of check your colors if you want to, or contact me. And then that's basically it, because all the how to make it, all the video stuff, that is part of that combo set. You'll get the segment pieces that you need for making it and that sort of thing. So there isn't a separate video for this because you've got the video elements in that combo set. So everybody, is that clear as mud for everybody? I hope so. I hope so. but I loved making this. I thought it was a lot of fun to pick the colors from an inspiration photo. And I highly, 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 highly recommend that you guys give it a try. So if you don't want to use these colors, but you want to make this mini, find your own inspiration photo. Maybe you don't like the colors in this photo that I've chosen. That's okay. Pick your own photo, something from nature, and you're going to need, if you take away the background color and you just make it white, you're going to need 6 colors, okay? A light, medium, dark, and an extra like color here for the yellow, and two types of color for your star points. Alrighty. Any questions at all? You guys are getting really quiet. Trying to make sure I'm still like rolling along here. Okay, we are. Alrighty, so that is the end of our Let Nature Inspire. I hope you guys have enjoyed that segment. We're not going to go away from that really. In the future, I'll do more of those to kind of, when we get to like other times of year, we'll just pull one and talk about it, because I think it's a really easy and simple way to make sure you're doing your color matching without making it hard on yourself. Okay. Alrighty. So, question of the week. Here's your, if you're alone on a deserted island question. If you could only have one quilting tool on your deserted island, what would it be? What quilting tool or sewing tool? You absolutely can't live without it on the desert island. And I'm thinking it would be like a Build A Quilt deserted island, so we'd all be there. We could all bring a different tool and share. How's that? I know, I'm such a goon. But what's your favorite tool? What would you bring to the deserted island, to the Build A Quilt deserted island? Yeah. And I would make sure we had great barbecue and great food. Okay, and so I'm going to let you guys answer for a little bit, and then we will do, we'll pick the winner. We'll roll the dice, as it were, for the winner. Let me tell you, for next week, next Wednesday, guys, we are not going to be here because of the 4th of July holiday. We kind of have stuff going on every day next week. So I'm going to wish you all a very happy 4th of July. However, I am going to put out a video for you. So we just won't be live, but I will put out a video on Wednesday for you so that you can have something to watch over the 4th of July if you get tired of picnicking and it's too hot or something like that. But we won't be live next Wednesday, but there will be a video come out, and then we'll be back the next week. And because we have finished up kind of our reflections in flight quilt, now I'll be showing you mine as I'm getting it finished. And I'd love to see yours. Please send me your photos at support@sewincommon.com so I can share them with everybody. We can see how beautiful everyone's quilt reflections in flight quilt turned out. There's our question back. We're going to start doing some smaller project pieces. I have a project. I'm waiting for one piece to come in that I ordered that is part of this project. I think you guys are going to like it. I kind of love it. I was inspired when I went to a friend's work. She calls it her workshop. It was hanging on her wall. That's all I'm going to say. And so I have a project coming up for us. So it won't be this Wednesday. It'll be the Wednesday after the 4th of July when we're back. So we're going to be doing a few now in the summer. I don't think in the summer we're going to do many like big quilting projects. We'll do smaller projects because we're in the summer and we've got vacations and everything going on in the summer, but we aren't going to stop. We're not slowing down. We're just not going to do another like full size quilt probably until closer to the end of the summer when we get ready to do our end of year quilt. But we will have smaller things and fun little projects to do. I know a lot of you have been asking for some more embroidery cross stitch. Stay tuned. It's a coming. All righty. Let's see what some of our answers are. Kathy says her go-to would be a rotary cutter. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy says that then I can cut palm leaves for shade too. See? Very good, Kathy. That's great. Sue says she would bring a seam ripper. Very good idea. There's a lot you could do with a seam ripper. You can poke things with it. Somebody else is on the island that you don't know about, and they start to attack you. Poke them with that seam ripper. But yeah. Oh, or you can make like little holes in Kathy's palm leaf to let water and have like a natural shower. I'm trying to think on the fly here, guys. Can you get that? But I think a seam ripper is great. Ruth says rotary cutter, ruler, and mat. Okay, Ruth. One thing on the island, Ruth's bringing the whole kit. Ruth says, I'm not doing the one thing. I'm doing the whole kit. I need the whole kit and caboodle. Ruth's got us covered, you guys. So if we forget anything, our dear Ruth is going to bring it for us. Thank you so much, Ruth. I love that. All right. Anybody else have anything else? Let's see. What would I bring? Oh, I know what I would bring. It's kind of two things, but I think it could be important. I would bring a needle and thread because I ain't going to have electricity for my machine, but I might need to sew some of those leaves together, like to make some little skirts and things like blankets, maybe, a patchwork palm leaf quilt, of course. So I'd bring some thread and a needle, and that way I think between all of us, you guys, we're covered. We've got enough. We could probably survive because, we could use Kathy's rotary cutter if we had to cut things up for food and stuff like that. We'd be good on our island. I think we would be good. And then of course I would have a plane dropping us really good food to eat. So alrighty, thank you guys for playing that game with us. Let's see who's gonna win. I know who's gonna win. Kathy's gonna win, Sue's gonna win, and Ruth is gonna win. Everybody who answered is gonna win. So Kathy, Sue, I'm writing your names down, and Ruth. I know you guys have one fun question. Thanks, Kathy. I appreciate that. So you guys know, send me an email at support@sewincommon.com. And when you do, I will send you a $5 gift certificate to be used on any product over at the website, which is, by the way, www.mybuildaquilt.com. All right, everybody. It has been so great to have you. See you in 2 weeks. So don't forget to send me your email so I can send you your gift certificate. Kathy says, yay. Thank you. You're welcome, Kathy. My pleasure. And she says, fun question. I kind of like that question too. I thought it was fun. You're very welcome, Sue. All right, everybody. Until next time, have a great 4th of July. If you go to fireworks, please be safe and have fun and eat some good burgers and dogs and barbecue and whatever you love to eat for the 4th of July. Have a great Independence Day celebration. And I'll be thinking about you guys. There will be a video out for you, and then we'll see you the next Wednesday. But until then, go quilt life beautiful, everybody. Bye for now.